Is it just me, or is the AI a total bitch? Anyway guys, with that blooper out the way, welcome back to the video. My name's Azza, and today we're going to be talking about 3 cars that I've been using in the seasonal events on Forza Horizon 5. Now, for those of you who don't know, all I do is tune cars and race Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon at the moment. And what I do is I just give you tips, tricks, and 9 times out of 10, the majority of my clips are going to be of tuning videos and setups. With that being said, we are in the Ford GT. Now, this is a street racing championship. It's in S1, and there's so many cars that you can choose from. The best car that you can actually use is the Ford GT. It's got tons of speed down the straight, and as you can see in the video in the background, there is a ton of grip on the brakes and in the corners. Now, I don't know if seasonal events do run on the difficulty that you actually have the game on. I run on unbeatable. And with this tune and with this build, as you can see, the AI are completely beatable. They're terrible. They've got no chance whatsoever. I'm quicker down the straight and I'm a lot better through the corners and on the brakes. Now, with that being said, the share codes for all 3 of these cars, well, 2 cars and a truck, that I'm going to be using, I will leave in the comment section down below. So you guys can go and pick that up if you wish. But if you do use my tunes and my builds, especially in this video, please guys, can you do me a huge favour? Come back to the video and just let me know how it worked for you. As a tuner, or I don't know if you guys as a painter or a guy who does photography on this game, having feedback, whether it's good or bad, from you guys is super important, so we can develop our skills and make our cars, in my case, tunes better, my builds better. Them guys can make their photos more cinematic, etc. And the paint guys can tweak things to make obviously it a lot better as well. As you can see here guys, we now have a new paint job. Because I love the car that much, I decided to put a new paint job on the Ford GT. Now, we're in the wet race, but before I go into the race in finer detail, I just want to let you know the paint job is so sick. I'm going to leave the guy's name on screen. His name is, I think it's Asilo. It's A-E-S-I-L-L-O. Go and download it. It's a old Gran Turismo 4 paint job. You know the flagship car on Gran Turismo 4, the Ford GT that was in white with the number 4? With this one, it's more of a, I think it's carbon fibre actually, but it's black and it looks sick and it's quite nostalgic. It brings back some good memories. So 70% through this sprint race, and as you can see again, I've just absolutely cleared off. With this car though, it's a very strange car because you have to use first gear for these slow corners. The reason for it, the Ford GT, for some bizarre reason, always has really long gear ratios. I have adjusted them accordingly, obviously, but the way it is at the moment, use first gear if you can. And with the clip that we opened up with, we did have a bit of a rewind, a bit of a technical error, and I managed to get through that corner without getting punted off into the cliff. However, it was short-lived because I ended up in the back of a pickup truck. So, but yeah, we picked up the pace very quickly yet again, and like you say, I'm breezing through, overtaking these cars. It's so easy in this Ford GT to just destroy the races. Now, I'm just going to be real with you. If there's one tune in this video that I do recommend that you go and download, it's this Ford GT. You can use it online and you're going to be a very competitive racer. It's super easy to use. It's all-wheel drive, and that's basically the 2 overpowered sort of factors that you need in your car. Anyway, moving on to the Dirt/Off-Roading Championship. Now, this series is going to be a huge hit with the guys out there. The reason for it is there's so many old school monsters in here. There's M3s, there's Audi RS4s, there's this Mercedes 190e, a total classic, the BMW M1. There's so many old school cars that we all think, gee, I remember that car, or that was a car that I grew up with, and for me, and for my nostalgia, I used to love this Mercedes on Gran Turismo 3, Gran Turismo 4, I believe. This was a car you had to unlock. It had all these sort of racing decals on. It was the touring car one, and you had to unlock it by doing one of these sort of rally events. And it took me ages to get it on because I didn't know how to do it. And I finally got it on, and I just never got out of the car. Anyway, enough of that. This car is designed for off-roading, as you can see here. Again, lap 3 of 3, and it's effortless for me. It's so easy to just absolutely run away with all of these races. As you can see, the AI have only just come onto the radar. That's how far they are away. And we've still got probably about a third of a lap left. Now, this is the on-road capability side of it. You do have to go a bit slower than you think because the grip's just not there. But as soon as she comes in contact with gravel or mud or snow, it just changes the car completely. There's so much grip coming out of the corners. And word of warning on this track, well, this race, should we say, is super, super easy. There was one race, and I think you'll know, if you've done it already, you'll know exactly what race it is. It's all dirt, so there's no sort of tarmac. And speak of the devil, and it shall appear. So this race, even for me, was hard. The car is really, really good. It does hold its own weight in this series and in this class and in this race. However, it is so difficult because these AI, they have so much more grip and they have so much more acceleration, especially when they're in front of you coming out of corners. It does provide quite difficult, and you do have to really get the flowing lines, especially on this track. Get the power down early, and the best advice I can give for you on this track is to keep it in fourth on corners like this. Keep it in fourth. I went down into third. Obviously, I was learning the car. Go down into fourth. And then for the faster corners, stay in fifth or sixth if you can. So for this corner example, stay in fourth gear. Third gear, it just over revs and it locks the back end up and it straightens it up. But if you keep it in fourth, you can keep that momentum and keep that drift so you don't bog down. So guys, we are probably now halfway through the video, and we're only a couple of corners away from lap 2 on this race. If you are still here, really do appreciate you. So do me a huge favour, leave me a comment down below. A, let me know that you're still here, or B, just let me know what your favourite car is or what your favourite class is. I'm super intrigued to find out what you guys run, whether it's a low level class like B class for example, C class. What is your favourite class? Or what is your favourite car? Super intrigued guys, do me a huge favour, leave it in the comment section down below. So with this 190E, it's 4-wheel drive. It's not got the most amount of power, but when you're off-road you don't really need that much power. The torque, again, it's not really there. It's more based on its handling characteristics and having the ability to just throw the car into the corner. It will grip, you power out, and you are away. What I said earlier about going down into third gear, this corner I will allow as an exception. However, stick it in fourth. Again, it's got such short gear ratios that you can actually use fourth gear and it will still power out. It's not going to bog down. So I would recommend fourth gear, but you can, if you want, use third gear. So let's just skip forward a couple of corners onto the last corner. That corner there, take it flat out. You can do. It's got the grip. And again, we are across the line in first place. So guys, we are now going to jump on to the last race in this seasonal event. Now, we start on road and then we eventually go into the sort of gravel side of things, well, sand, etc. And I managed to get up the inside 10% of the way through, and the rest of the, you know what's going to happen. We're just going to pull the pin, keep our head down, and we're just going to destroy. As soon as we get off-road like this, we just go. We disappear, and we win the race. So yeah, this tune, I would highly recommend it. It's not really good for off-roading in a sense of online races. The reason for it hasn't got the power. It really hasn't got the power to just throw the back end in and power out. It hasn't got that. It does have the grip, so it going into corners and coming out of the corners initially, you'll be there, but as soon as you come out of that corner, guys, you're as good as toast. So I just leave it to the offline racing and you will have a breeze when it comes to the events. Into the final third of this race, we are going to cut to the last seasonal championship, which is truck racing in a moment. I do have one of the Mercedes. I think there's only 2 trucks that you can run anyway. One's garbage and the other one is an actual racing truck, so more of that shortly. I think we've got one final left-hander, then it's just a sprint to the line, dab a handbrake, get the back end spinning out, straighten her up and get it fired out. Now 85-86% through, as you can see, final stretch, and we are across the line. So now, for those of you who know me, you know I have never ever stepped foot in a truck like this before on any racing game whatsoever. I've never ever done it. It's never been my thing, you know. I've always been about going around corners as quickly as possible. Now, these trucks aren't very good, should we say, when it comes to corners. There's me using another truck as brakes because I can't see where I'm going. So I was just toying with sort of camera angles to find out if it's better to be on board, on the bumper, etc. And in the end, I just stuck with this because it's what I'm used to, it's what I know. And you'll see a little trick that I do to find out roughly where I need to brake shortly coming up. I just use the right thumbstick because obviously I play on a controller, and just rotate it slightly. So then what I can do is I can actually see when the front of my truck hits the racing line, telling me to brake. Had a bit of a play there to see if I could do it. Absolute nightmare, so we'll ignore that happened. There's me testing the waters again. And yeah, this time I think I managed to sort of grasp what I need to do. I'm going into lap 2 of 3. And we've got this tight left-hander here. I think I'm going to go up the inside of him here. And yeah, I just thought, ram it up the inside, send him into the wall, and be away with you. So guys, this is going to be the end of the video. If you do have any other cars or tips that you need to know or want tuning, just let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll do my very, very best to get back in contact with you. But as always, guys, take care of yourself. Please like and comment and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more.